The opinions expressed by the host and guests in this show are not necessarily the views of Children's Health Defense.
Good morning, CHD. Welcome to Pediatric Perspectives, where we are taking a look at children's health challenges from a different perspective, one that includes critical thinking, one that's not afraid to give you the honest truth. My guest today is Laraine Abbey-Katzev, and I am so honored to have you with us on Pediatric Perspectives today, Laraine.
I am so honored to be here. Thank you. And to share the amazing world of vitamin C.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I was looking up some information on you. I mean, you got your RN, you became a nurse when I was like 10. So you've got a career that spans some decades for sure. You're a certified nutrition specialist. You've got a website, betterfoodforbetterkids.org. You've worked with thousands of patients to recover their mental, physical, behavioral health with nutritional therapy, and a pioneer in functional nutrient testing. And I know you've got an upcoming book. We'll have to deal with that later, because today we're going to focus on vitamin C and some of the special nutrient things that you've found to be extremely useful. Could you share with our audience just a very brief summary of kind of how you got into nutrition and got to the place that you are today?
Okay, well, it really all started with my son, Eric, when he was born. Before that, I was a junk food junkie living on cigarettes and Entenmann's crumb cake. And my son had, first it was colic, then it was eczema, then it was asthma, then it was ear infections, then it was ADHD, hyperactivity. He was sort of a mess. And I was desperate. So I reasoned back in my nursing education. I had learned, for instance, that asthma could be caused by an allergy. And so I decided I was going to try doing a wheat-free diet to see if that would be of help. Went to a health food store for the first time in my life to get a wheat-free bread, which I imagined they might actually have. And it was like a whole world opened up that I had no awareness of. I never had heard of zinc. I'd never heard of manganese. Magnesium, yes. But all these other nutrients were selenium. It was like a new world to me. And I was hungry for information, and I started reading like crazy, started with Adele Davis's book, Eat Right to Get Fit. That journey not only cured my son, it led me into winding up in private practice because my neighbors and friends noticed that my son was no longer hitting the other kids over the head with his toy truck. And my husband, who was a story in a book I'm writing, had arthritis, and he was no longer arthritic, and they noticed no more limping. So I got a lot of questions about what was I doing? How was I doing it? And it grew and grew till I was on the phone almost all day long with people. And by the time my son was ready for kindergarten, I had planned to go back to psych nursing, where I was the head nurse, but it all changed. I decided to go into a private practice, something nurses didn't normally do, but I did it.
What year was that?
Oh, well, let's see. He was born in 72, and I guess by the time he was 5, I was ready to. So I think I started private practice around 1977.
Wow. That's like 45 years ago. Or no, longer.
God. It's a frightening number, Paul.
48 years ago. And you did your coaching and working with people basically with nutrition and nutrients, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I did, I had a newspaper column at the time, a weekly column. For a brief time, I even did a radio show and a lot of workshops to teach people about the power of nutrients.
So I know in our brief conversations before we had a chance to jump on this show together, you have a deep interest in vitamin C and some information you wanted to share about that. Tell us how you got to that interest, and then let's dive in a little bit to the specifics of vitamin C.
I'm not sure I actually remember how it started, but I did attend one of the lectures of Dr. Frederick Klenner, who was one of the vitamin C pioneers. Fred Klenner did like amazing stuff. He was a practitioner, a Duke graduate in Reidsville, North Carolina. And he used vitamin C for so many things because he discovered as he used it that it was so powerful. He tried it for more and more and more things. To give you an idea, Fred Klenner stopped the pain of shingles within 10 minutes of a vitamin C injection when he gave 6 grams of a type of vitamin C called sodium ascorbate, it's non-acidic, into the hip of a 5-year-old that had shingles. Klenner followed this with hourly vitamin C orally, and in 3 days, the shingles was completely cured, but the pain was done after 10 minutes from the injection. He also cured hepatitis in 48 hours with megadose vitamin C. He gave 700 milligrams per kilogram twice a day as an in-office treatment. Then there was polio. He treated 60 consecutive cases of polio in 1948 during the polio epidemic with complete recovery, no paralysis in any of his patients. A 5-year-old that was brought to his practice from another physician's practice was a little girl, was exhibiting paralysis that had worked its way up both of her legs. And through combinations of injectable and oral vitamin C, he completely reversed the paralysis.
I know from my own cancer journey that high dose vitamin C is very useful in that as well. A good friend of mine, Dr. Paul Merrick, you can share what he, because I know you've researched this, he published some really important research on vitamin C and sepsis.
Absolutely. I did an article on him and his work with sepsis. And by the way, one of the featured things in that article was the story of a farmer named Alan Smith, who they wanted to pull the plug on this guy. He had pneumonia. He was on life support. And the family fought for vitamin C, and the court, they had to go to court in order to get it. The hospital said, no, it's ridiculous. But they prevailed through the court. And the vitamin C, not only did it reverse his whole lung problem, got him, he's alive and well, but it got rid of his leukemia, which they didn't even know he had. It got diagnosed while he was in the hospital with this double pneumonia situation and sepsis. So fascinating work. And there's more. Massive health boosts for babies and moms. Klenner gave massive dose vitamin C in pregnant women. Very safe. Some people would think, oh my God, but they're giving vaccines to pregnant women. Well, the vitamin C, 332 consecutive pregnancies over several years, were given in 10 to 15 gram doses. They were just given routinely during the pregnancy and then after to the babies. And what they found was healthier babies, uneventful, smooth deliveries, almost total absence of stress marks and faster recoveries in the moms. And the labor was shorter, less painful. I mean, he did amazing stuff. Then he also treated measles with vitamin C. But he stressed that the dose had to be high enough and frequent enough and continued for at least 24 hours after all symptoms were gone. Because if you drop the dose or the frequency or whatever, the measles would just reactivate. He also reversed cyanosis and dyspnea, which means difficult breathing, in a man that was dying following something called a pus caterpillar bite. He drew up 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C in the sodium ascorbate form into a 50 cc syringe and said he delivered it as fast as the plunger could be pushed. And
So
the
folks,
guy took a deep breath and said, I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. All of the cyanosis went away, breathing normally. I mean, these are just miracles, absolute miracles.
So for our viewers, disclaimer here, I'm no longer licensed. And in fact, the views expressed here are our own, and they're not meant to diagnose or treat. Run anything by your trusted healthcare provider. It's interesting. I remember reading, Laraine, that vitamin C production is absent in humans. Most mammals have mechanisms for making vitamin C, but humans do not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Us and guinea pigs. We, for
There
some
you go.
reason.
If somebody back when you were in practice was consulting you, what are the conditions you might say, you really ought to think about vitamin C here?
I can't think of a condition I wouldn't think of it for, to be honest. I recommend it for everybody and everything. It's cheap. It's safe beyond, I mean, it is so safe that you couldn't kill yourself with vitamin C if you tried. The
Yeah.
LD50, which is the lethal dose calculation, is so high. I mean, it's not achievable.
It's not
So
achievable. You'll get severe
there's no
diarrhea.
reason not to use it. Oh,
Right.
but that's oral form. Yeah, diarrhea. But it's not a toxicity. It's a bowel tolerance.
Right.
And if you just lower the dose, the diarrhea goes away. It's not permanent, doesn't cause any long-term, or doesn't cause any after effect. So
yeah. Do you have experience or thoughts about dosing for people? So a lot of people viewing this may not have access to IV, intravenous vitamin C. And so if they're going to go oral and we're talking about children here, do you have experience with dosing kids orally with
Yes.
vitamin C?
Yes, my son was my first. He was 3,000 milligrams a day at 3 years old. Fred Klenner said for every year of life, 1,000 milligrams. So first year you would do 1,000 up to 10,000, which is what he felt most adults and children, older children, should be taking. I typically in my practice use, I don't know, I would say mostly around 5,000 or 6,000 milligrams, but now.
And that's divided, right? It's not a single dose.
Oh, yeah. Divided, like, either 2 or 3, preferably 3 doses throughout the day. It's water soluble, so it goes out. And the argument about you're going to have the most expensive urine in town, don't worry about that, because you'll absorb a higher percentage with higher dosing. And yes, the toilet will get a good dose of vitamin C, but who cares?
Right. Yeah, who cares if it's working? So would you start people on vitamin C preventatively? So a healthy child, an infant, and if so,
Yes.
at what age?
Yes. Well, now knowing again what Fred Klenner's idea is, because he was really the guru for a lot of the vitamin C megadosing. 1,000, I would use 1,000 milligrams for every year of age.
Okay.
That would be my preference.
That sort of fits with Linus Pauling, Nobel Prize winner. He was on 10,000 milligrams a day, as I recall.
Yes, and he claimed that, I think it was even higher than that, but he claimed it gave him many additional years of life. And even though he died in his 90s, and he did die of a cancer problem, but Charles Mortel, who tried to duplicate Linus Pauling's work but didn't in a study, he died of cancer at the age of 67 with no vitamin C. So if you make it to 92 or 91, whatever Linus did, I think that's okay.
Yeah. So can you pivot briefly here and let's speak to parents about food, starting with, pregnancy and then birth and infancy, et cetera?
Well, as I'm sure you have the same bent, I'm a believer in trying to eat organic as much as possible. There are lists for foods that would be more important to use organic. I think it's Environmental Working Group. Yeah, they put out a list of the Dirty Dozen or something.
Yeah, Clean 15, Dirty Dozen.
That's it. People can look that up, because you could put your money where it's more important in that world. But the other aspect is whole foods.
Yes.
I would also use the term God's foods. In other words, whole, unprocessed, as close to the way Mother Nature created the food. For example, God made a potato. He didn't make a potato chip. So I kind of like to stress that. And one of the biggest problems in the food world for parents to understand is white flour and sugar, because they make up about half of the calories of average Americans who are not particularly into health consciousness. But so if half of your calories supply very few nutrients, that's how you develop chronic degenerative conditions. And that's how children don't have a strong immune system. If they're eating processed food, white flour, and think of all the foods made with flour. I mean, macaroni, pasta, noodles, bagels, pizza, cakes, pies, cookies, pastries. The list is infinite. And that makes up about a third of the average American's calories. Sugar making up about a sixth. Sugar has no nutrients at all except the carbs. And white flour has very few. And a lot of people are fooled by enrichment. If I took $1 from you and I gave you back 4 cents and I told you that you had been enriched, you would see the nonsense of that. And that's what enrichment is. They take out everything when they're processing flour, take out most nutrients, vitamins, minerals, trace elements, but then they fortify with about, I think it's about 5 different vitamin substances. So it's insane. And this is one of the biggest reasons for our failing health is, what we're eating. So people really need to wake up on that score. If we don't fix our food, we can't fix our health. We are literally built from and run by the breakdown products of food. I mean, our bodies and brains are literally made from what we're eating. Yeah. And years ago, they used to call that quackery. I was called a quack when I started in practice. Oh, that quack nurse, because if you mentioned diet and disease in the same sentence, that was it. You were off the rails as an idiot.
If I'm a listening parent here with young children, my challenge is time, accessibility to, these whole organic foods. Sometimes it's cost, but practically speaking, I don't know where to begin. Do you have tips for that?
Well, I think going to a health food store could be helpful as a start. And there are places that make food that you can purchase. And some of them are going into this higher quality kind of food sources. So that's one arena. My focus hasn't been as much about that as it needed to be. When I was guiding parents years ago, because I'm retired from private practice for a long time now, but I would just give them the parameters, and somehow those motivated moms, when you have a child that is in serious trouble, you find a way to bring in, to implement the concepts. Let's put it that way.
I am grateful for this reminder, though, about vitamin C. I wanted that to be the focus of this episode, and I want to have you back to talk about food and all the other ways it can help our kids. Do you have anything else you wanted to add about vitamin C for our viewers?
Well, the only thing I would say is I would wish, and I don't think that maybe some of the viewers could help with social media, I don't know, but I believe vitamin C in massive doses IV should be mainstream standard of care in every hospital emergency room. And the use of oral vitamin C for parents to understand it could radically improve your child's health and prevent a lot of problems. So just urge parents to make sure that they're giving their kids vitamin C, which in food form, of course, the citrus fruits, a lot of different fruits have vitamin C and vegetables. But I feel that the world is so toxic today, and so there's so much stress, and that increases the burn rate of vitamin C, which is the way the body uses it up. So I would want them to supplement vitamin C as well.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. Vitamin C is part of our antioxidant system, and you're absolutely right. We're in such a toxic world that we're already depleted anyway because we don't make enough ourselves, and then because of the toxic world we live in, it just consumes whatever little bit you might even be supplementing, which is why you're really advocating for high dose.
Exactly. And I think it's probably, if Klenner was alive today, I think he'd be using doses even higher than the high ones that he used a million years ago. because the world has gotten more toxic and stressful and depleted in our nutrients.
I've had Dr. Suzanne Humphreys on before. She has information about vitamin C for pertussis, I believe, but also for other infections.
Kidney infections.
Yes, absolutely. I think because our world is now waking up to the challenges that are out there due to vaccines, more and more parents, and that's not the topic of our discussion, but I just wanted to throw in there that more and more parents are choosing a very informed choice, by the way. My book, Vax Facts, goes into all the pros and cons, and by the time you really analyze it, vaccines don't seem to make any sense at all. Well, then the question comes for parents who are maybe fearful of diseases: what would I do if my child got polio or pertussis or measles or any of the 14 to 17 or 18 infections out of the hundreds or thousands, but those that for which we have a vaccine? They're going, what would I do? And what would your response be to that?
Oh, I got two things here. Number one is read your book, which is terrific. Number two, and I forgot to mention this is very important for the vitamin C issue. Everyone, and this is professionals and lay people alike, because this book is very easy to understand. Curing the incurable. Vitamin C, infectious diseases and toxins. This should be in everybody's library. It could save a child's life. It could save anybody's life. And then this follow-up book, these are both written by a Dr. Tom Levy, who's both a doctor and he's also a JD. He's got his law license or law education, whatever, certification. And his other book, Primal Panacea, which it really is almost, people say, oh, you think it's a panacea? It's for everything. Yeah, it is.
Well, it's amazing when you're deficient in something that important for all the pathways for detox and boosting your immune system. It almost is a panacea. Thank you for reminding us of those books. I actually need to get them myself. I think if you're watching this, so often parents, we feel helpless and we've become unnecessarily dependent on the medical system or our doctors to tell us what to do. And I think, Laraine, you would probably be telling folks, take charge of your own health and here's how to do it, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm saying we actually don't need more doctors of medicine. We need doctors of health.
Yes.
It's a subtle difference, but the whole paradigm has to shift. Fortunately, many doctors are into what we call functional medicine, and they're looking at the causes of things and the underlying factors that create health or that destroy health. And thank God for them. But unfortunately, mainstream medicine it isn't going in that direction. They just prescribe medications for things. And I'm not a fan of, medication has its place. I wouldn't want to be without anesthesia if I was a road pancake and needed surgery. But it does have its limitations. And so that would be the thing I would love to see is doctors of health. And I thought we could call them HDs instead of MDs.
There you go. I like it very much. So how can people get more information? I think you have a website, and maybe when I get you back, we'll talk a little bit about your upcoming book as well.
Okay. Well, I do have a website, but it's not focused on my current, because I'm not in practice now, but it's betterfoodforbetterkids.org. And it's all words, no numbers. Better Food for Better Kids. And there's a lot of great information on there and links to a lot of other sources, other URLs for more information. So I would urge parents to take a look at that website. It was originally a foundation. We ultimately did close the foundation for reasons too long to explain here, but I decided I wanted to keep that website alive because people can really benefit from a lot of the information that's on there, especially a section called Successful Videos or something like that. So
nice. Sometimes you just need to watch testimonials and see the successes that others have had.
And they were kids, by the way. The 3 successful
Awesome.
ones are all kids.
And you also have been involved with millionsagainstmandates.org, I believe.
Yes, I'm on the steering committee and the creative communications committee of that. And also I'm on the executive board of Justipedia. It's a replacement for Wikipedia, which most of us in the health world know that Wikipedia is very biased in the wrong direction, pro-vaccine and all of that kind of stuff. So check out Justipedia. Well, my final thoughts are to get focused on the things that helped rescue so many kids that I've seen in private practice. So that's the focus of my book and the passion of my life, because I've seen, I think, virtually every child in my practice that I ever worked with recovered either fully or mostly from whatever it was they came for. And they came for all kinds of health problems. But we can talk about that in the next session.
You are the author of an upcoming book, Nutrition Miracles, True Healing Stories from My Private Practice and Beyond. You've given me a little preview of it. I'm very excited for when this comes out. I'm sure we'll be chatting again when it's released. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, you can find my work at kidsfirstforever.com. And if you want anything up to date on vaccines, do get my new book, Facts.
Tell everyone what your name is.
Allison Catherine Danielle Haney.
Well, that's a nice name.
When I was 9 months old, in April of 2000, when I had chickenpox and my mom took me to the doctor, the doctor said that my Hep B shot was temporarily suspended and I needed to get one. And then my mom didn't think it was a very good idea, but then I got it anyways, and my mom held me down. And then 2 weeks later, I regressed into autism. And by 23, and I was hospitalized for metabolic condition. From 4 to 6 years, 23 months, I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And 18 years old today, I'm diagnosed with a mitochondrial disease, complex 4. And 7 years old, I was getting IVs from the doctor that helped me function. When I was 8 years old, I was placed on Lupron by a doctor. And then that doctor got suspended.
Can you tell them about how your medical records were stolen by the Maryland Licensing Board and its contents were published online?
Yeah. Mommy, they stole my medical records from Mommy and me.
From Dr. Geyer's office.
From Dr. Geyer's office and published them online. And it's why he got suspended.
Well, he got suspended because certain people were after him.
Yep.
But he was a wonderful doctor, and I'm sure he still is. We haven't seen him in a few years.
We haven't seen him in a few years because the vaccination suspended. And I now go to a genetic test down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Let's not say the name of the doctor, though, okay?
Okay.
And how do you feel today? Now you're 18 years old. How are you feeling?
Good.
You're very, very clever.
Yep. And I now work at Aubrey's restaurant.
Aubrey's?
Yep.
And what do they do? What do you do in the restaurant?
Food prep.
Wonderful.
Chicken, broccoli, pasta, and seafood.
Good for you.
Yep.
And are they kind to you there?
Yep.
That's fantastic, Ellie. We're so pleased for you. You
Thank
tell
you.
your story so well.
Thank you.
So when you were 9 months old, you caught chickenpox or before?
I got chickenpox before I got vaccinated.
So when you were vaccinated, did you have chickenpox or you just finished having chickenpox?
Finished having chickenpox.
And they wanted to give you the Hep B, but what did you say about it being discontinued?
They had temporarily suspended it in 1999. I believe, and all the dates start running together, but I believe Simpsonwood had something to do with the temporary suspension. And then suddenly it became available again. And the doctor felt it important that she get caught up. And I even, because I was adamantly pro-vaccine, I had friends that questioned vaccine safety, and I would hold my kids down and laugh at the with the doctor about my granola friends. So no one was more pro-vaccine than I was. And I read over the fact sheet, and I even said, she's still got some scabs from these chicken pox. You think we should wait? No, she'll be fine. And within 2 weeks, she weaned from the breast. She stopped eating. She stopped pulling up. She was cruising furniture. She had 3 appropriate babbles. She would see her dad and say, Dada. We had this little game called Tickle Bug, where I would come in and say Tickle Bug, and she would laugh and say Ta-ta. And then whenever she wanted to nurse or have a bottle, she would say Ba-ba. At 9 months old, it was very typical. She did not even babble again until 18 months.
My babbles for at 18 months was diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle.
And she said nothing but diddle-diddle until 2.5 years old, when her speech pathologist, very wonderful lady, Vicki Barnes, said, have you ever thought about trying anything biomedical with her? Because, as a speech pathologist, she can't medically advise, but she had some books in her library and said, why don't you take a look at these? And I read about the gluten casein-free diet and thought it was snake oil. Because, again, I was so staunchly, pro whatever the doctor said. And we'd run out of milk 2 or 3 days before payday. And we were I had her sitting with me while I was pulling weeds, and she grabbed me by the hand. This was after over 6 months of therapy. No progress. She looked me in the eyes and said, bye-bye. Meaning she wanted to go inside is what I took it as. So from then on, I remembered she had not had milk in a few days. And I immediately put her on the gluten casein-free diet, and within 2 months, she had over 100-word vocabulary.
Are you still on the gluten-free, casein-free diet?
I'm just gluten-free now,
Gluten-free.
with no restrictions.
I think she cheats on the gluten-free diet a little bit, don't you, Allie?
Yeah, and I've been playing the game since I was 3.5 years by the awesome teacher Caroline Peck. Helped me point and take turns with other kids.
Well done. Well, that's a hard thing to do, even at our age.
Yeah.
Take turns with anyone. So I just want to ask your mummy a couple of questions. So when you say you were pro-vaccine, what do you think it is that made you, me, and all the others that were like that so blindfolded, blinkered, that the doctors were semi-gods in a way, that everything they said must be true, and we didn't even question it, and we questioned so many other things with our children, car seats, cot mattresses, you name it.
Right.
What on earth do you think that's about?
I think for me, it was having a grandmother that was an LPN from the 1960s. Her sister was an RN from the 1960s. My mother is an RN. She got her diploma in 1983, and in that day and age, the RN was the subservient to the medical doctor. So whatever they said went, and that was my culture. That was what I was brought up in.
Did you know, going back 18 years, anyone that didn't vaccinate?
I did. I had 2 or 3 friends that didn't vaccinate. They were I call them my granola friends. Pro co-sleeping, pro breastfeeding, kind of the extreme of everything. And then I ended up breastfeeding a child to 2.5 years old because I had read breastfeeding might prevent autism. So as far as I was concerned, she was going to college on the boob. That's what it took. But I knew them, but they seemed so extreme. I didn't give them a thought of day.
So you did everything your doctor told you to do, even holding, as Ali explains herself, that your mummy held you down for the Hep B vaccine. Yeah. Why do you think the Hep B vaccine was a good idea then, or did you just not think?
Ignorance, sheer ignorance. The idea that a 9-month-old being breastfed by a monogamous mother, a monogamous father, is just insane. I mean, that is only spread through sexual contact, sharing of IV drugs. Her father nor myself used IV drugs, but I was so ignorant, it didn't matter to me. I didn't take the time to research any of that. But there was absolutely no reason for her to have a Hep B. She wasn't in daycare. Even if you are in daycare, the chances of getting hepatitis B are so I think I read one case in literature somewhere, but there was absolutely no reason for her to have had the Hep B.
And you will have no more vaccines ever.
Nope, no more vaccines ever.
Good for you. What would you like to do when you're older? What's your favourite thing to do? What would you like to do as a job?
I'm gonna teach the little ones.
Are you going to look after the little ones?
Yep, at preschool.
That's a wonderful thing for you to do.
Yep, and I'm gonna teach them how to share and take turns, and alphabet, the spelling and counting, and all those things. Pre-K grade level. And when I have kids one day, I'm gonna put plug covers in.
What's a plug cover?
It's so that babies or toddlers wouldn't get into it.
Oh, covers in plugs.
So it's like
I
your finger in a
got it.
socket.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
And so you love little babies.
yes.
That's wonderful, Ali. That's wonderful. You're doing so well. Now, what would your advice be to other people that have had a diagnosis of autism? How can you help them? What would be a good thing for you to say to them?
Do not give your child a shot again.
Oh, to the parents, yes, good idea. That's a good one. Do you
Yeah.
hear that, peeps? Don't give your child a shot again. I think they know that,
Yep,
but it's very good advice.
yep.
So, what do you have planned for the future for because we're all quite vulnerable, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And my plan is whatever Allie wants in life, as long as she is consenting to whatever it is. The sky's the limit for her. We have come so far with her. I think biomedical gave her body the chance to begin to heal. And I think we have been just so extremely blessed with teachers and speech pathologists. On the way over here, she was talking about her 4-year-old autism teacher, Paula Gumpman, and her speech pathologist, Kelly Covington.
Yeah.
And they are a married couple, and she says they are her aunts. And I said they deserve to be called honorary aunts for all they've done for you.
Yeah.
And so I feel like whatever in this world she wants to do, I want to support her to do that.
Yeah.
Now, what are the best things that have helped you get it better from the vaccine injury? What things have been really good for you?
IVs, glutathione, and Lupron.
What's Lupron?
It's a miracle drug shot for autism to help through to get rid of the puberty in 8-year-olds.
Do you care if I explain it a little bit better?
Yeah.
Or not that you didn't do good, you did wonderfully, but just explain a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Dr. Geyer had developed some studies that found that excess testosterone could be contributing to autism, and he began giving Lupron to suppress testosterone in children when it was too high. Primarily boys, because mostly boys have autism. And what he found was that the vast majority of the children that got it stopped becoming aggressive. When you see aggression in pubescent children, it just kind of puts an end to it. For Allie, we had multiple signs of precocious puberty in her, being a female, and so we gave her a daily injection of Lupron to try and put off her puberty a little bit longer. And we saw a huge cognitive improvement over the 2 years that she was on the protocol.
Yeah.
Now, and how important was diet for you when you were younger? You know, special
It
diet.
helped me with the words. It was very important for me, for my mother.
She still struggles with her diet. She's extremely restrictive.
Now, when for the people with autism that can't speak very well, Ali, what is it like? Can you remember what it's like when you couldn't get the words out like you can now? Can you try and describe what that was like to help other people?
No. It was like nonverbal, and all those grunts and moans and all that. When they're angry or sad or happy, things like or happy voices coming out of the mouth, not be able to speak.
Yeah. You describe that very, very well.
Yeah.
And when you're angry or sad, what makes you happy? How can we help people become happy when they're angry and sad?
Their comfort stuff, and or give them a warm bath.
Yes, I know about that one. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And just things that they love.
Yep.
And so some of the things that you love Barney the dinosaur.
And I love Teletubbies and Little Critter and Phineas and Ferb and Shrek and Leapfrog and all of my faves that I grew up with those years.
Can you tell her your favorite pet?
My favorite pet is Sylvester,
And what's Sylvester? Am I supposed to
a
know that?
bicolor cat.
Oh, yeah.
Tuxedo.
Cool.
He has a half a mustache on his nose.
Well, Ali, do you know that we know the man that wrote Shrek?
Yeah.
We know who that is.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get him to sign something for you. You're listening, Jocelyn? Ask him. I know you might be there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
Good.
I think we should do that because he'll be really, really, really happy if he's watching
Yeah.
this to know that you love the film that he wrote.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a deal. And I know
Yep.
that he watches these films.
Yep.
So I think he'll be very happy that you said Shrek.
Yep. And I also love Land Before Time. And it's about the dinosaurs. And dinosaurs was banished in 65 million years ago from the earth.
Thank God. Eh?
Yeah. So we live in and don't get eaten by dinosaurs.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. And when an asteroid hit the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, they were making a new world, a new earth for us to live in.
I think you would get on very well with a young man called Will Chollock. Does everybody else agree? I think
Yeah.
you'd get on very well with. He's clever like you. Now, what is your big dream? If you could wave a magic wand, what would you like to see happen?
Me going to the beach with Grandma.
You want to go to the beach with Grandma?
Yeah.
Tell her which grandma.
Is that important?
Yeah.
For Mercer Mayer's books, Grandma and Me.
Yeah. And my grandma, and for her to walk in the sand with me.
Do you mean Mama or Grandma the character?
Grandma the character.
Okay.
And
So this is a book, yes?
yeah.
And she's actually Facebook friends with the author Mercer Mayer.
Yeah.
You are. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I have been to birthday parties over the years.
Can I tell her about your make-believe life? Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Yeah.
Allie, as she's gotten older, struggles with social things as we all do. And she has developed this very detailed make-believe life. And one of those is Grandma Critter and the different characters from the different things. And I will oftentimes find her in her room. She makes them. We should have brought some, Allie, paper people.
Yeah. And my friend and sometimes I make Sissy out of paper too.
Yeah.
My little sister and big sis. And my cousin I also love is Maya. I'm excited about going to her birthday this Sunday.
And that's your cousin?
Yep.
So, Ali, who is your best friend?
Brooke,
And who's Brooke?
my friend from preschool.
Oh, wonderful. And you're still friends now?
Yep.
And does she live near you?
She lives in South Knoxville.
Is that near?
It's south of here. It's on the other
I'm
side.
from
The
Stroud.
other side of the river. Brooke has autism like Allie does.
And
Yeah.
what do you two like doing the best together?
We watch movies together.
And what does she like watching?
Disney.
Does she? That's wonderful.
Yep. So do I. and Brooke would watch those over and over again.
You know, Ali, it's truly our honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Are really a wonderful, wonderful. Now, do you remember I said when you sat down here that there would be people from all over the world that were going to send you hearts?
Yeah?
Are you ready to see those hearts?
Yes.
Okay, just 1 second. I'm going to turn them around. I'm going to start with Periscope. I'm going to turn it around like this. And do you see those hearts there? And this is We Are Vax. They can't do coloured hearts, but they can send you big red hearts there.
Wow.
Look at all those hearts.
Yeah.
And they are sending them
Yeah.
to you now to tell you how much they love you.
Yep. Thank you.
See? And they'll always be here for you, Ali.
Yeah.
Always. And here's We Are Vax. Here, do you see the red ones coming across?
Yes.
And look, they're sending red ones here.
Thank you.
Yeah, because they genuinely do absolutely love you.
Yes.
All right? So you always
Right.
remember that we're here if you need us.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to turn that back round again. See, they're still coming, and maybe your mum can show them back. If you're ever feeling sad, you can go back and have a look at those hearts to remember how many people love you.
Okay.
Now, is there anything else you both would like to add to this story?
No?
I would like to say something. I am now a new nurse practitioner, a family nurse practitioner. I'm still waiting on my license to get approved in Nashville. If anyone's watching, please approve. But, you know, all this controversy about vaccines, to me, there's one thing that whether you were staunchly pro-vaccine or diametrically anti-vaccine, there is no reason why 100% of the healthcare professionals are not coming together and demanding that a researcher who says the CDC has shredded data, has altered data, there is no reason why 100% of us cannot come together and demand that something be done, demand that hearings are heard. As a provider, I use evidence-based care to try and make sure that all my patients receive the best quality care. If that evidence is biased, if that evidence has been changed, doctored, any of that, that now means that when I walk in my patient's room, I don't know whether or not the evidence is the best evidence for my patient. So there should not be a medical doctor, a doctor of osteopathy, a nurse practitioner, a CNA, whoever, that should be opposed to legitimate inquiry as to why the CDC is shredding and altering and paying off falsified data.
Okay.
Do you agree with that, Alley-Kat?
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else you want to say, Ali? They're still sending you hearts. You're going to have to watch this.
Who watches this, follow me and thank me. For
How can
coming.
they do that? Is there a way?
She's on Facebook.
Yep.
It's Alley-Kat.
Yep.
ALLI?
IECAT.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I wanted to make sure that's what we have it on there.
Yep.
Alley-Kat, and the parent does monitor whatever's on there for any freak out there that wants to try anything. I'm watching you.
And
Who loves this mama?
people need to teach me the different languages from different countries.
You want to learn different languages?
Yep.
What's the best language? What's the first language you want to learn?
Spanish.
You want to learn Spanish? Any of you Spanish-speaking peeps out there that's kind, you don't want to mess with this mother. I think she's made that clear. And you don't want to mess with the peeps either, just so you know the peeps have got this mother's back. So if you're there and you're watching, Ali is fully protected by all of us. Ali, you are truly, truly amazing. Everybody absolutely loves you. Now, have you signed the bus?
No.
You signed it for us and sent us the picture, and I was trying to find it before y'all came down. I don't even remember
Well,
what the number
good
is.
luck with that.
I know.
I know.
It's somewhere on here.
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
Okay.
All right, well, look, everybody wants you to know how much they love you, Ali,
Okay. Love you.
and they love you too.